welcome to Blue Jays Today, where today, guys, we've got to talk about quite an epic week the Blue Jays had this week, where we top it off with a huge comeback and a sweep over one of the best National League teams in the MLB. We're going to get into everything in there, what the Blue Jays did, what they didn't do, and obviously got to look at what we got upcoming, as we have a really big AL East rivalry week up ahead. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog, and wow, what a freaking series, man. To start out this week against the Philadelphia Phillies and lose some grueling games, like some ugly ones too. There was a lot of mental mistakes. People were not performing the way that they should. I mean, that Bo Bichette error there on the last game at Philadelphia, right? Like that's got to stick with a guy, right? Like that's got to stick with a guy, especially with an off day there. And then to come back home and to absolutely deliver it to, you said one of, they are the best team as far as record goes anyways, you know, at least entering into this series in the National League in the Atlanta Braves. Like, with the sweep, that is just absolutely phenomenal. And the fashion that they did it too, you know, like dramatically comeback victories, complete game shutouts from our starting pitching, like across the board. So much good stuff to talk about from this series, guys, and a lot to just get hype and excited about moving forward with this team. Now, we're going to get into all of it, but usually in these shows, we like to start off broad, and I feel like this is a perfect segue about this series to talk about the umpiring, and specifically the umpiring with the Toronto Blue Jays. If you watched this last game, yes, the Blue Jays won. It was phenomenal, and you know what? Like, literally, kudos to everybody on the squad, except the freaking home plate umpire. That guy was making missed calls after missed calls consistently. No one had any idea.
We're on mute? What happened?
No one had
Whoa,
any
time
idea.
for your daily Betway breather.
Yeah, not sure.
What is
no
going
one
on?
had any idea about the umpire or like the strike zone or anything like that at all, folks. So we gotta look at this. I think it's just Ahmed, man. It's just Ahmed. Yeah,
you tripped me out, man.
Yeah, it's fine. Literally no one had any idea what the strike zone on at all. So let's look at this. We got a bunch of tweets coming in here from people. Quinn saying, gonna run for prime minister. Here's my political platform. Ban all umpires not named Pat Hoberg from entering Canada. Yeah, I agree with you, man. What else we got?
Yeah, we got another tweet. Once again, nobody makes the argument for robot umpires better than human MLB umpires. Like, yo, if y'all saw it today, man, it was a disaster. Like, there were so many. Here's the thing: you can establish your own strike zone as an umpire. Like, I get it. Like, you have a different eyeball than everyone. Nobody's perfect, but you know, you gotta absolutely be consistent with your strike zone. Like, if you're gonna call, there were so many pitches called outside for a strike today. That's fine if you do that every time. But the problem was that you didn't. You didn't do it every time, and that's what I have an issue with. So yes, I am calling for we've been every single year, and like everybody that's a fan of baseball wants to call for robot umpires.
And the worst part about it is that these guys are not held accountable. They're not, you know. It's like you can have horrible performances and you're not going to lose your job. You're not going to get sent down to the minors or anything like that. No. And I'm not saying fire a guy because he has one bad game. That's obviously not what I'm saying at all. But there needs to be a system put in place to have these human umpires where it's like, hey, you have a horrible season where you're calling like, 90, you're missing like 10% of the pitches. You're on probation, and then the next year following, if you don't improve, then you go down, right? And I just think it's a narrative that consistently gets talked about with the Toronto Blue Jays, and frankly with Canada as a whole. You got Kyle Johansson coming in here and saying, seriously, what is with officiating in pro sports? MLB umpires are terrible. NHL referees are downright negligent. And for those of you who don't know, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were just in the playoffs. They got knocked out. I mean, they didn't play the best in, they just didn't. We can actively say that. But the referees in that last game specifically were horrible. And they were clearly against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Most of those calls were going the other direction. I mean, there was a freaking goal that wasn't even a goal. You know what I mean? Like,
there was literal clear evidence that it was a goal. And they actually made up, and I was talking to my family about this over the weekend for Mother's Day weekend. I was talking to my family about this. Like, they're like, oh, yes, we do agree that the puck did cross the line. We're talking about NHL now. Did cross the line, but we felt like the whistle should have been blown earlier.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
just dumb.
That's ridiculous.
That doesn't make any sense.
It is the stupidest thing ever. So Leafs fans out there, I totally feel your pain, man. Like, I'm going through it as well. But there's always been a narrative, and I want to ask you, and you guys comment in the chat, there's always been a narrative that Canada gets it rough. Whether it has to do with profits or, fan base or viewership or whatever, Canada gets it rough in pro sports. Do you think that there is any legitimacy to that narrative when it comes to umpires or even hockey too,
Potentially there could be some biases that umpires and referees may have towards specific teams. Like if you're talking about the Maple Leafs, if you're talking about Canada, Toronto Blue Jays as a whole. I know there was a huge, large conversation in 2015 and 2016 how the Blue Jays just kept getting absolutely shafted and had horrible calls against them. And a lot of conspiracy theorists out there were like, oh, it's because they don't drive in enough viewership on TV revenues. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. I mean, I feel like we're getting to a place now where the Toronto Blue Jays do get a lot of viewership, do get a lot of views in Canada, in the United States, just because of how cool and how popular they are. But there could be. I mean, I saw a stat, and I wish I was trying to find it. There was a stat out there that last year we had the most calls against us out of any ML team by a large margin.
Missed calls.
Missed calls. Going against us. So, there is some weight if you do look at the numbers, but do I think that there's, an active plot against the Toronto Blue Jays? I'm not going to dive in too deep, but I don't think so.
Listen, I think that the only reason that that's a narrative at all, and this is why people get confused and people have these conspiracy theories, man. And they talk about it in the NFL all the time. And, they talk about the games being rigged and, one team or another team, getting more calls than the other team. And it's just because I feel like, as human beings, we can't sit back and watch this game and we wonder ourselves, how can somebody be that bad at their job and still be in their position?
Yeah.
Right? So it's either you are so blatantly awful, and you're not getting fired for whatever reason, or it's rigged. So it's which one is it? Are you stupid or corrupt? Right? And frankly,
right.
it's by the way that you're talking right now, it's just stupid. And I'll tell you right now, the guy that was in that Sunday game, he was bad. He was really bad.
Yeah, the one we saw today.
Yeah, 100%. He was
bad.
Really bad. And frankly, we're going to look at his thing later on, his scorecard.
Oh, the score. Oh,
I imagine that it's got to be a run or two given to the Atlanta Braves.
I agree. And we still had to come back and win it, and that's actually a good transition right there. The fact that he was so bad, but the Blue Jays still prevailed in many situations in that ninth inning with the Danny Jansen walk-off home run. I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see it right now. Danny Jansen, we were all watching that game live. There's 2 outs, bases were loaded, and a lot of people were calling, oh, you got to put in KK. You got to put KK in here. You got to put anybody else other than Dirty Hands Jansen, who was 1 for 4 today, and he comes through in the clutch. He shows why he's still a reliable batter. He's off to not the best start, but he is Danny Jansen. He pulls the ball hard, he hits the ball hard, and he can come up in some big moments.
I think Danny Jansen needed that hit, man.
He did.
That is a big-time hit right there. And the fact that they kept you in over Kevin Kiermaier, I mean, the action of taking that guy out and putting Kevin Kiermaier in, regardless of what happens after that, that does send a message to Danny Jansen saying, hey, you've gotten off to a slow start. We do not trust you in critical moments. John Schneider is sticking with his guys right now, and you can argue that it's to the benefit. In this case, it worked out. And also sometimes, it's to a fault where he's sticking to his guys so much, and it's well, why the hell would you do that? I mean, the time earlier in the week where the bases were loaded and you pinch hit George Springer,
who is clearly ill and not feeling well.
Yeah. That was dumb. That was one of those situations where, hey, listen, I know that George Springer is a key part of this team, and you want him to bat leadoff, and you want him to be really good, but that's just stupid, right? So in this case, we know that Danny Jansen, he's a key part of this team. Kevin Kiermaier might not have a future with the Toronto Blue Jays moving forward. He's on a 1-year deal, right? So it's Danny Jansen absolutely does have a future with him, so he's a core part of this unit. So we stuck with our guy. It paid off. I'm really happy, for Danny Jansen in this regard because he's got to get hot. And I do think that at some point, one of these months, you're going to see Danny Jansen going to be batting high 200s. It's going to be 5 or 6 home runs in that month. And the OPS is going to be really high because that's the hitter that he is.
Yeah, I mean that is who he is. He's going to get hot. He's going to do well. And it was a huge must-needed victory because you look at the Toronto Blue Jays week. And yeah, we were 2 for 2 coming into today's game. Losing today, you still win the series, but if you guys are OGs here on Blue Jays Today, we look at it week to week. right? And we just had a L last week.
Yep.
You don't want to just
wanna
get
go
under
back-to-back
500.
Ls,
Another L the week before. So this was really huge, especially sweeping the Atlanta Braves. And it doesn't affect our standings in terms of like we take games away from Atlanta Braves. They're in a completely different league. But it is good for us to take care of business, especially when you want to take some games away from Boston Red Sox the week before. You take some big games away from the Atlanta Braves. So it helps us in the standings. And if you look at the standings here, folks, I mean, it's good that we got the sweep at home.
Yeah.
Because you got to take care of business at home, apparently, this season. Because the home records in the AL East, I want to really note this. This is why the Rays are doing so good.
Yeah.
They're 19-3 at home. Orioles are 13-6. The Blue Jays, who have played the least amount of home games in the AL East, they're 12-3.
Yeah.
That's huge. And the Red Sox, 13-9. Yankees, who have been the worst home team,
Still doing well.
16-10. And that's where you got to take care of business. The reason why the Blue Jays have been, quote-unquote, scuffling, even though we have one of the best records in the MLB, it's because we're just below a 500 team on the road, which is kind of where you want to be a winning team. So I think once we stay at home a bit longer, we have a big, long homestand, we should see us climb up the rankings.
Well, it's really big to me to prove that you can beat these elite teams at home, right? We beat the Tampa Bays in a series at the Rogers Center. We just swept the Atlanta Braves. In my opinion, I mean, like, if you're going to make a power rankings right now, those are two teams that would have been ahead of us. You know, they might have been the only teams ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
oh yeah.
So it's like, that's good to note that we are beating the best teams in the league at home. We can take care of business there, and people are going to start to fear coming into Toronto, coming into the Rogers Center. You need to own that space. This is my house. That's what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. says, bro. Yeah. And you have to make it as such. I do hope that, you know, as we continue, the road record will kind of even out. And if we can just stay around that 500 mark, but just dominate at home, win 75, 80% of our games, I mean, we're at least a wild card team, if not winning the division.
We have to. We ought to keep performing, guys, because that's what's at the end of the day. It's what's going to get it done. You know, we need pitching, we need offense, we need defense. But speaking of pitching in particular, man, there's been some great storylines this week, obviously.
Yeah.
Chris Bassett.
Phenomenal.
I don't want to spoil anything, but Chris Bassett had just an exceptional week. He goes and gets a complete game shutout, and that kind of set up the rest of this series. You know, you rest the bullpen arms. You're able to pitch Swanson for an inning and 2/3, right? Because in that game, if Chris Bassett goes 7, you might have to pitch Swanson a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Chris Bassett, just let's talk about that signing, man.
Yeah,
in just general.
It is. It's been phenomenal so far, guys, and we really needed it because you're looking at this rotation as a whole, as an entire unit. You have Kevin Gausman. He's been great so far, and I think that we know that he is going to continue to be great. But your other guy that you need to rely on, Alek Manoah, hasn't been off to the best start.
Yeah,
it hasn't been off to the best start. We've been talking about it a lot on this channel, and articles are coming out right now. What's going on? What's happened to Alek Manoah? Really, I think it totally boils down to the fact that his slider is just simply not as competitive as it's ever been in the past. It does not have as much deception. It's not getting as much swing and misses. I mean, it's literally right here, guys. And it shows that the slider, you know, what is this?
The slugging
by slot. Yeah, they're annihilating it. They're annihilating it because when it goes in the zone, it's just no deception to it at all. And then when he's throwing it outside the zone, it's so far outside the zone that they're not going to swing. So people are not. Look at that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of hangers in there, man. That is too many hangers going on with the slider.
Especially because his slider has so much vertical break to it this year that, you know, these ones right here are coming in like this.
Yeah,
they're coming in like right up here and dropping
right on the barrel.
Right. Whereas these, when you notice it out of the hand, they're all they're all going to just drop and fall out of the zone. So
totally.
And that's been the big problem. And obviously, another problem for Alek Manoah has been the walks. He just commits way too many walks. When he falls behind the count, he cannot get back in it, and he commits too many walks.
Yeah,
way too many.
Either way, though, he's off to a rough start. You know, so that's been going on, and he's got to figure it out. He's literally the worst pitcher on the team right now. Jose Barrios, not doing the best. He's kind of doing what we expected him to do. Just like being a guy, filling out the rotation, but he's going to get blown up some games. He'll give you some solid games.
Yeah.
Chris Bassett is phenomenal for this team because could you imagine if everyone's doing what they're doing right now, but instead of Chris Bassett, you just have like What, Trent Thornton?
Trent Thornton.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Or like somebody that I don't even know who would be, guys.
Yeah,
like
right.
it'd just be like a dude.
Drew Hutchison.
Literally,
Oh,
just some complete random that is a total wild card and is probably chilling somewhere around the Alek Manoah, Jose Barrios ERA at best.
Yeah. Chris
Bassett has been so phenomenal. And I know that we can't always attribute wins and losses to a pitcher, but he's 5-2. He's 5-2, and that's because he continues to give quality starts, and he's giving the team an opportunity to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, actually, I want to talk about that too. Speaking of a guy, another starting pitcher who gives you the best quality starts. In fact, he has the best ERA on the team today. But he's 2-3.
You're right.
We cannot seem to get any run support.
That's an anomaly. I don't know why that is the case, but it happens all the time. It happened last year.
Yeah.
It's a complete anomaly. I don't know what the hell goes on. Like on those days, the hitters just they lose it. Maybe we're just really bad against two pitchers.
Yeah, exactly. Up against other teams.
Yeah, like the two pitchers, for whatever reason, those guys seem to get us.
Yeah, like this week, Kevin Gausman put up 6 innings of no earned run ball, 9 strikeouts, no walks, 3 hits. Like that's mint.
Yeah.
That's literally a quality star all around the board, and we can't do anything. So I really don't. And you're right, it's an anomaly. There's no fixing of it. It's just this weird stat that just happens to be like you want to roll out Kevin Gausman every day,
for sure,
but you lose.
We'd be under 500.
We keep
We'd
losing
be under
with
500. Man.
Crazy.
It is the most ridiculous thing ever. I do anticipate that will balance out at some point. I really hope so, because literally, like, for Kevin Gausman's standpoint, like, he does deserve more wins and less losses.
Yeah.
Who else did some really good work this past week?
Yeah, like looking around at the offense, like the guys are kind of cooling off. I know you asked me for who's doing well, but everyone thinks Chapman's doing well. He's kind of cooling off. He's 2 for 19. But guys who are doing really well are the guys in the bottom of the lineup. Brandon Belt goes 5 for 15 this week with
that all day, every day.
With a home run. He is striking out his fair bit at times, but he is providing some pop. And I think in May he's got like a 1.1 OPS last time I checked. So he's providing. Kevin Kiermaier.
Yeah.
Best 9 hitter in the league.
Yeah, he was phenomenal yesterday. In Saturday's game, he was running all over them. He was getting hits. I think he got 3 hits on that day.
Yeah.
It was just coming up. It was so clutch. Kevin Kiermaier has been an exceptional acquisition at the bottom. And they used the word on the broadcast yesterday, which I completely agree with, rejuvenated.
Yes.
He looks 10 years younger.
Yeah.
He looks 10 years younger right now, and he looks like he just came into the league, and he's so excited to be here.
Oh, I know. It's amazing. And then the reason why I know a lot of people are like, why don't we start him every day? And again, on the broadcast, they're talking about how he needs to get that rest because, again, he is older.
Yep.
But he's playing like he's younger. But if he keeps playing like he's younger, you might risk an injury or two.
Yeah, we don't want that when he's doing this well right
now. Exactly. So he's doing amazing. He went 6 for 11 this week. He was incredible. 3 doubles. 4 runs scored. You want to talk about setting the table?
Yeah.
Scored 4 times, 3 walks, and 2 stolen bases. Like, he's doing everything he possibly can. And on the top part of the lineup, you have Vladdy going 5 for 17. He had 3 doubles as well, 3 RBIs. 3 RBIs and 3 walks. He's doing what he's doing. I think he's on a 9-game hit streak right now. So phenomenal.
He's just like quietly doing his thing. Like he's not like exploding or anything right now. But he's just doing it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we need those guys to do. They're just going to have to do it because Vladdy's going to have his month, too.
He is going to have his month.
He's going to have a month where he's going to finish like top 3 in, player of the month category. It's going to happen, right? But in the off months, when you're not doing that, just still contribute and do your thing and be the guy.
Dude, he's if I'm not mistaken right now, I think he's in the top 10 in OPS in the entire league.
Yeah, I could believe it. I could definitely believe it. It'll be close.
Oh yeah, no, he dropped a little bit. And this is I was talking about that's MLB in the American League.
Oh, in the American League, 100%.
American League, yeah, he's 7th right now.
Yeah,
like
American League, 1,000%.
Phenomenal, right? And that's the floor I want to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at.
Totally, dude. Yeah, so I'm very happy with Guerrero, man. Springer went 4 for 13. I mean, that's a better week considering what's been going on. But there's still been a lot of conversations about the potential of moving him down. Again, I posted a video about that yesterday, so go check that out and hear my thoughts about it. I kind of said in that video, like, I trust George Springer. I know he's going to get better. I also really trust Bo Bichette or Whit Merrifield, which would probably be the guys that would, fill that spot. So I'm torn on it. I still think, though, like, give him a little bit more time.
Yeah.
If it's the end of May, though, like, if it's 2 weeks from now and he's still, like, around the 200 mark.
Yeah. Yeah,
Down.
like I can say that, like, you know, April, you chalk it up as you're cold. You're allowed a cold start to a season. Everyone has cold starts to a season.
Yeah.
And then he gets ill, and you can really blame that. But today, I will say, very small sample size. Obviously, went 2 for the home run. He looked pretty locked in on his home run. He did have a ground out, like double play that looked not that good, but he looked more locked in than I've seen him all season on home run. So I'll give him some time. Again, I like that end of May.
End of May seems like the right time. If he's still not doing great, the Merrifield, get on up there. Right. With all that being said, guys, it is time to announce the Jay of the Week.
That's right. We talked about him already, and I think this is probably one of the more clearer Jay of the Weeks. A guy who didn't do something for the Blue Jays for the last, I think it's been 8 years since the last time we saw this. And that was a complete game shutout. And then it's got to go to Chris Bassett.
Phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like, literally, dude increased his WAR by 1 that game. And really it wasn't like he was doing it against Detroit Tigers or anything like that. Like, we're talking Atlanta Braves. So, really well done. We don't need to talk too much about it because we already literally touched on them. But phenomenal signing so far. Strike
says KK question mark. He's honestly runner-up for me, going 6 for 11. You know, having a great week. But I mean, how could you not give it to Chris Bassett?
Like literally as good as a pitcher can do.
Yeah, literally.
In a week. So
literally, you earned it. You earned it, man.
I agree, man. With all that being said, we have a tough week of baseball up ahead against division rivals, Yankees and Baltimore, and I'm really excited about that weekend series, man, because we have not seen Baltimore yet. We don't know. We've been able to take care of the Yankees.
Yes, we have.
Boston annihilated us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But we've been able to take care of the Rays, too. How is Baltimore going to do? That's going to be a tough one.
And I think a lot of I'm really starting to buy in the fact, I don't know what it is this year, but the home teams just have a huge advantage in this early going. I mean, there's been rumors and rumblings, not really many articles about it, but I wouldn't be shocked if this came out later. Like, the home teams are doing way better offensively at home. Is there cheating going on? I don't want to start that narrative right now. But whatever it is, let's take advantage of this home advantage.
All the AL East teams are cheating.
Exactly. All at home, they're all doing something.
Here's the thing. If everyone was cheating, then no one's cheating.
Exactly. It's the rules.
All level.
It's the rules. So we get to start a homestand against the Yankees, or continue our homestand against the Yankees on Monday, tomorrow. We've got Alek Manoah. Obviously, one of our worst pitchers. You got to factor that in. We don't really know what we're going to get. But we're going to be up against TBA. He was recorded a 0 ERA so far this season, so we don't really know.
We have absolutely no idea who it's going to be yet, guys. Like, couldn't tell you. Could be a call-up for them. Might be a bullpen day for the Yankees, which is honestly a great opportunity for us, because if you start the series off with a bullpen day, that's going to be that much harder, later down the line if your starters get knocked around. Yeah,
they got to make some moves to the minors, they got to do some shuffling, so that could be some good stuff.
Yeah.
Then on Looney Dog night, that's going to be fun, y'all. You got Kevin Gausman, he's back on the mound, versus Domingo Germán, who's been scuffling as of late. Yeah. He's up to a 4 ERA. Then you got Chris Bassett, who was just the J of the week. He's going up against Garrett Cole. So I guess if you want to pitch anyone against Garrett Cole, I mean, you would pitch Kevin Gausman, but Chris Bassett,
pretty good darn good right now,
Pretty darn good. Cole, obviously amazing, 2.22 ERA. And then on Thursday, to finish off the series, you got Jose Barrios up against Nestor Cortez, who last year was really good, but this year has been really, really struggling.
Yeah.
5.53 ERA. He blows up or he does really well. It's one or the other.
Kind of like, he's kind of doing the whole Alek Manoah thing right now. Okay. I mean, it will be a tough series, guys. Like, Yankees, even though that they're last, they're still, 22 and 18? Right? It's like they're still literally above 500. They are going to be a tough team. Granted, we are going to be at home. They got a TBA in there. This one feels like it's definitely... I definitely don't think we're going to lose this series.
No, I don't think so.
It's either like a 3-1 or it's a 2-2. You know?
And honestly, like, I know it's hard to say 3-1 against the Yankees, especially when Cole's going, but we are seeing the best part, like, minus Kikuchi, the best part of our rotation rolling out.
The best part of our rotation. We're going to be at home. They got the TBA game. I can't really chalk that up as much of anything, right? So it's like, it feels like there's a lot of things going in our favor here. I think that if we go 2-2, it's going to mean that their offense kind of like blew up a game. You know what I mean? It's like they just, like they really pounced on Manoah, or they really pounced on Gausman.
They did pounce on the Orioles bullpen today, and Orioles bullpen are doing good, and their offense is starting to pick it up as of late.
I've noticed that Yankees offense is starting to get better, man.
Ever since
close.
Judge came back,
yeah,
they've been doing really well.
That is the glue that keeps that team together, man. You don't have Aaron Judge, like what are you?
Yeah, like I almost want to conservatively say 2-2.
I'm so split. I'm like,
but
I want. It's like 2.5 for me. Like we win like 2.5.
We win 2.5 times, guys.
Yeah,
but
like I don't know.
Okay, I'm leaning 2-2. I wanted to say 3-1.
I am kind of leaning. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I am leaning 2-2. Yeah,
competitive ball.
I'm leaning 2-2 because Garrett Cole is really tough and
their offense might come through.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
we win 2. We lose 2 against the Yankees. We go 500 there. Orioles.
Yeah.
What happens with them?
Orioles is fun, man, because when you look at the starting pitcher in the Orioles, it's not good. It's not that good right now.
Yeah.
We got Yusei Kikuchi, who just got blown up today. He's going to go up against Kyle Gibson, who's got a 4.67 ERA. Then you got Manoah back on Saturday, which, by the way, that's our subscriber meetup game, folks. So if you haven't already, check that out.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all have heard about it.
Are going to be there.
We're gonna be there.
You are going to be there. Buy your tickets. We're all going. It's going to be freaking legendary.
Absolutely. And we got that matchup with Alek Manoah versus their rookie, Rodriguez. But he's not doing that well. 5.08 ERA. And then on Sunday for Junior Jays Saturday, Kevin Gausman versus Clement. And it's a 5.97 ERA for him. But the big story, obviously, is the elite bullpen for the Orioles and the really good offense.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I know that we're winning in the pitching matchups here, but it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because like this is what they've been doing all season long, and they're still winning. They got a better record than we do. So it really doesn't matter at all. I do think, though, that, I do think we're at home. This feels like a W week for me. So if I'm saying that we go 2-2 against the Yankees, I got to say that we go 2-1 against the Orioles.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
They are going to claw one off of us for sure.
Yes. I could also see them taking 2 of 3.
I
in a
could
bad
as well,
scenario.
but I'm
There's
not.
Orioles,
I'm not going to put that out there because we've been so good at home,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that we're going to remain good at home. So if I'm already saying that we're losing to the Yankees, we're not going to lose another one to the Orioles.
That's what makes the difference of the week. If we could take 3 of 4 against the Yankees and take 2 of 3, which is doable, that's
massive.
Huge. That's five W's. Go 5-2, huge. But conservatively, I'm going to say 4-3, which isn't that good actually when you think about the homestand advantage. I do think we can go 5-2. But 4-3 feels safe.
Well, it feels right.
Feels right.
If I had to bet my life on any record this week, it'd probably be 4-3.
Probably be 4-3. But again, we are at home, like Strike is saying. That makes the difference, and that could be the difference. I could see that very much happening. And if that happens, folks, if we do go 5-2,
right?
Best case scenario, that's a 29-18 record. We're clawing. Yeah. We could be matching the Orioles at this point.
It'd be pretty close, depending on what the Orioles do in their first series. It'd be pretty close. We put in the Yankees like further and further down for sure, which is always a good thing. We got to get them out of it, man. I'm kind of, honestly, like, I know it's early, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, damn, like, Orioles or Rays just might have this thing. Like, they just continue to just annihilate, you know? Right. So it's like, if that is the case, if they're going to keep doing what they're doing, I'd love us to get back into it, but then we need Yankees gone.
Yeah,
we need Yankees gone. They got to get out of here. Like, they got to leave. They have to go away. They're literally one win away from our record.
I know.
They have to go away.
Close. That's too close.
That's way too close. Get out of here. Get out.
I agree. All right, guys. So that is our predictions on the week. We're going to go into our next segment, which is very fun. But before we do, guys, we got to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video.
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Spinning, fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is a wheel that we spin every single week, everybody. Last week was Adam's week.
Yes.
He did finally take some off of me. He goes
Yes.
2-1. It was much needed. I was starting to really
You were.
build up a lead here.
You were.
But I'm feeling good about this week.
Yeah.
I'm back on, baby. We haven't spun a single bonus player
No,
yet. I'm
no.
feeling like this could be the week team.
And as per request of it's just because it's Mother's Day. I was in the car with my mom, and she's like, I want to hear more about what happened the week before, because she's like,
Okay,
I don't
all right.
remember.
Yeah.
So like, I kept up these here so we all remember. Caper 9, I took the Gosman category. That was, that was a given when it was spun. RBIs, Guerrero put up 3. Varsho had a quiet week, only getting 1. And then K batters. Chapman made a case with 2 Ks today, but Belt got one more today. That was the difference. He had 7. Chapman had 6. So that is the difference maker right there, folks.
Sam. Okay,
All
so
right.
that was last week. What's it gonna be?
What's it gonna be?
This week, everybody. I felt like a good bonus player spin right there.
No.
Kind of felt it.
And you see again, your week. Oh, it's going past, and it's gonna be Jay Killer.
Okay, you know what? This is fun.
I like this one.
I like this one a lot, guys. Jay Killer, this is the first time that we've rolled this one here, and this is always a really good one, team, because anything can happen. Anything can happen, guys.
So again, we decided if you pick a pitcher or whoever goes first, if you pick a pitcher or a batter, you have to pick that same category.
Yep,
you
100%. This feels like a classic. Like, you go first on this one.
Okay, yeah, because it really could be.
It really, like, there's so many options, man. Like, and yeah, it could literally be anyone.
I'm gonna look at the other teams. I feel like that's fair. Let's take a look here.
Yep.
I want the player. Let's go look at. Where am I looking here? There we go. So we're facing the Yankees. I feel like that's a good.
It's definitely the way to go.
I probably want to go with.
I think it's pretty obvious.
It's
what you
pretty
wanna go
obvious
with,
actually.
yeah.
With okay, you know what? Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna bet money on who's gonna kill the Jays this week, it's probably gonna be Aaron Judge.
Yep,
Yeah.
that seems like a
Aaron
reasonable
Judge.
option, man. Aaron Judge is pretty damn good at the baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel reasonable. Can you flip back to the stats,
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
I feel like Anthony Rizzo might be my choice here. He is doing
He's doing really well.
really
this year.
well, actually.
He's doing really well.
Doing even better than Aaron Judge. So I will gladly take Anthony Rizzo, lock him in. He's gonna kill the Jays the most. I was considering taking an Oriole, guys, because the Orioles are phenomenal too offensively, but just that additional game, you know. So it's like Rizzo just has 4 more opportunities to get another home run. Or
I know,
whatever,
exactly.
So I am gonna go with a Yankee.
All right.
Let's go, guys. I'm going to be picking first for the next 2 categories. Give me the bonus player,
no
man.
bonus. Go fast, go fast.
Not going to do it this time.
And it's going to be...
Same thing.
No, it's Caper 9
Caper
again.
9.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
well,
easy.
easy. Lock it in. Give me Kevin Gosman.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Literally, don't even need to think about this one in the slightest, guys. I think Kevin Gosman has won this category every single time. He's won this category every single time. So you have to stick with what is.
I put Gosman in the middle there. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Caper 9. Yeah, and dude, here's the thing. You picked Burrios, which was the right pick last week, and he only got 3 strikeouts in 5 1/3 or whatever.
Yeah, because the rest of the guys are all over the place.
Yeah,
the rest of the guys are all over the place. You never know what you're gonna get from these dudes. Gosman is pretty consistently like. If he goes 6 innings, he'll give you at least 7.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go Yusei, because Yusei got 7 strikeouts this week.
Sure, man.
It's
a dice roll anyway. It's a dice roll anyways.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yusei, Kikuchi. There we go.
I'm feeling good about that choice, guys. Kevin Gosman is phenomenal with the strikeouts. Give me the bonus player.
I can't believe we haven't done it. Oh, it's coming close. It's gonna pass it. And it's gonna be runs just on the edge.
Interesting. Okay, well this one also feels pretty easy for me. Let me just double check. I did only get 1 last week.
Who Bichette?
Yeah, but it just feels like that's gotta be the way to go.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lock in Bo Bichette on this one.
Alright, Bichette.
I'm absolutely locking Bo Bichette.
You know what's funny? I can't count on it because he doesn't get enough playing time, and he just pop off this week. Kevin Gosman got 4 runs scored, but I'm not picking him.
Kiermaier, you mean?
Kiermaier, excuse me. Yes.
Yeah, Kiermaier. Yeah, like people have actually been talking about, and we didn't really touch too much on this, but. Well, actually, we did kind of, but the whole Springer being moved down and everything like that. If he is moved down, who would go up there? Some people were suggesting, hey, Kevin Kiermaier is doing pretty good, and he can run the bases phenomenally.
Exactly.
You know,
I gotta go. Oh, not Goblin. Excuse me. I gotta go with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean,
Also
dude,
losable.
he's right in the middle of the lineup. He hits home runs. He runs the bases well. He moves around. Guys will drive him in. So I feel like it's a safe floor there, right?
Yeah, 100%. Guerrero will absolutely score a few runs this week. Guys, let us know in the comments down below. I'm feeling really good about my team this week. I feel like this is a
Gosman's a lock every week.
Gosman's a lock. Rizzo and Judge, who knows?
Yeah.
And I mean, I do think Bichette's got the edge as far as run goes. But you guys let us know in the comments down below your thoughts about anything that we talked about today. The walk-off, George Springer, Manoah, literally anything, folks. Let us know in those comments.
Yeah, guys, and thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and as always, guys,
Go Jays, go!